As the presidential campaign draws to a close, the American people have expressed their opinions on the candidates, but what about the rest of the world? Hello, and welcome to GPI Forward. I'm Ty Reagan. Joining me, Paulo von Schirach, president of the Global Policy Institute and editor of the Schirach Report. We've seen what the American people think about the candidates' foreign policy approaches. What about the rest of the world?
The rest of the world is watching with some degree of apprehension because we have two quite different candidates. I mean, that's now the cliche of the century. Mrs. Clinton is the establishment Democrat who's been, around for so long. She was the First Lady, Senator, then Secretary of State.
And what's her foreign policy approach like?
Her foreign policy approach, we can estimate based on the things that she has said, will represent a great deal of continuity with what President Obama has done. Sort of a lighter touch, not really keen on military engagement, but with, I guess, an effort to reassure friends and allies that America is there, that it has a steady hand, and they will continue to protect them when necessary.
And what about Mr. Trump?
Well, Mr. Trump is the wild card here. He has promised at least to engage in what is tantamount to trade wars with half the world, starting with China and then followed by Japan or Mexico and other countries, on the assumption that America gets a raw deal in international trade because, as he says, these trade agreements have been negotiated by incompetent amateurs. He's a good negotiator. He knows how to get things done, and he would get America a better deal. And so America first, and let's make America great again. That's his slogan, and a muscular trade policy is part of that.
Now, what's the effect of these disruptive policies, both on the rest of the world and also on world opinion?
It's worrisome. Clearly, the rest of the world is looking at this and says, he's actually going to do this. And it's quite possible that if America unilaterally engages in trade retaliations, or rather actions, with trade partners, that they will retaliate. So if America will tax Chinese toasters and hair dryers or what have you, that they will tax General Electric and Unilever and United Technologies products are coming from the United States. So the notion that this is just an easy thing to do, it's really not so.
So you said that continuity is very important from the international perspective. Yes. Now, why would the U.S. be concerned with continuity? Why would we lean towards
Well, because America still has the ambition to be the leader of, we used to be the leader of the free world. That was the cliche during the Cold War. But America, for better or worse, is still the most important economic and military power in the world. And therefore, its leadership counts, whichever way it is applied. There is a certain both a political and economic advantage for the United States to maintain steady relations with allies and workable relations with competitors. And I would put China and Russia in that category.
Given the situation in the U.S., what does the world expect and what can the world expect from the U.S. going forward?
Well, look, again, much, of course, depends on the outcome of the election, which, according to all the polls, is going to be very close. So assuming that Mrs. Clinton gets elected, the world can expect a reasonable degree of continuity, no major surprises, and probably an active engagement by the Clinton White House and its cabinet to reassure allies, to go around the world in a kind of a tour of confidence building. We're still here. We're still America. Things are okay, etc. If Mr. Trump gets elected, it's a bit of a surprise. Is he really going to be as aggressive as he proclaims that he's going to be, or is he going to be more muted in the end in the exercise of power if he's elected president? But again, I would, if I were in London or even in Beijing for that matter, I would say, boy, this guy, who knows? Let's sit tight and see what happens with a great deal of apprehension.
Continuity and a kind of continuation of the status quo seem to be what the world is looking for from this presidential election. Thank you for joining us. For GPI Forward, I'm Ty Reagan. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.